Hey everybody, this is Mr. Taylor. So welcome again to the unit on financial literacy. This is module 16 that we're working through, managing your money and planning your future. Want to take just a few minutes, not many at all, and talk about saving and investment. What we would like for you to get out of this is how to calculate and analyze simple interest earned on deposits. Just some words here, and I didn't include deposit, but I should have. Simple interest will be money that you, as an individual, that put money in the bank or maybe buy certain money market certificates or whatever. But in plain words, you are going to let someone, some financial institution, use your hard-earned cash, and they will pay you a small dividend for doing so. So that's really what simple interest is. Well, how do we calculate it? So it tells us that interest is paid, uh, is money paid by banks and others for the use of depositors, which would be you, money. Simple interest is earned using the formula I is equal to P times R times T, where I is the amount of interest, P would be the principal or the original amount that you're going to deposit in the bank. R is the interest rate that they're going to pay you, and it's always expressed as a decimal. Now you notice when we were doing the previous exercises, when we put them in the Inspire, we put it in as a whole number because, I mean, and you would do that too if you were using Excel, because that's the way the field is characterized. And of course, T is the time in years. So it tells us that simple interest is paid at the end of the term, uh, based only on the principal at the beginning. So what you put in at the beginning, they're going to calculate that according to the actual rate, and that's the interest you will earn. And it's only on the principal that you put in the beginning. So let's take a look at this and see, can we make a little sense out of it. So uh, Adam makes regular deposit to a savings account to save money for college. So he deposits $1,000 at the start of each year into an account that pays 4% simple interest at the end of each year. And it says he does not deposit the interest. Very key thing here. So some things that we can get out of this to determine what is this problem is asking us is telling us, well, what are we trying to do here? First, it's telling us that our initial amount, P, is equal to 1,000. And it's also telling us that it pays, which is the rate, it pays 4%. So we're talking about 4%, and we're going to change that to 0.04. Notice the 4 is in the hundredth place. And then time, it says, so time is going to equal to 1. Okay, so these is what we need to take to be able to determine and use in the formula of what is interest. So see, can you look at A and determine, now this is multiplication. When we see PRT, this means P times R times T. And remember that the R is in um, decimal form. So see, can you figure this out and then come back and take a look at where we are. Okay, so how much did that Adam account earn for the first year? Well, we have the interest is equal to 1,000 times, and I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to put this here. And then times 1. So let's see. This is 0, this is 0, this is 0, and this is 4. Then, of course, 0 times anything is 0, 0, 0, 0. And we bring down 4, 0, 0, 0. Multiplication, we have a decimal, 2 places. So in our final answer, we have to point out from where the decimal is 1, 2 places. So this is where they got the $40 from, right here. Okay? And we would multiply that times 1 because at the end of 1 year. And then that's going to give us 40. So he earns $40 for the first year. Okay? That's the money he earned, or the bank paid him, or the savings account paid him, or the credit union paid him to utilize his money. Now we'll get into it a little bit later. What do they do with that money? Well, you know, they're going to lend that money to me or you or anybody else that want to borrow money to buy cars or whatever type of purchases. But they're utilizing his money to do that. Okay, so with B here, this is the same thing. We're looking at Adam and seeing his actual table of what he done. And this is over time. So what I'm asking you to do here is stop it and take a look and see, can you complete this table to determine what he did over a 10-year period. And let me tell you, it's just really, you know, just what you see. And this is what he begun with, which was 0. He deposited 1,000. At the end of 1 year, his balance was 1,000, and he got the $40 from multiplying 1,000 times 0.04. Okay. Then he took the 1,000, which was his new balance, and this is where he started the new balance, and he applied another $1,000, which gave him a 2,000, and then again he's gonna multiply that by 0.04. The bank will, and he has 80. Now he's not gonna put this back in. So again, he comes here and he has 2,000, and he deposits another 1,000, and he winds up with 3,000, and then the bank is going to multiply that times 0.04, and so on and so on. So then the 3,000 comes here, and let's just to help you out with this one, and then 3,000 plus 1 will be 4,000 times 0.04 will give him $160, and that's in interest. So go ahead and stop the video and see, can you complete the table for me, and come back when you're done. Okay, so again, the table is complete. Hopefully you were able to get this, and this is what we got. Now remember, when we find the interest, we're just multiplying the ending balance times 0.04. So to find the interest, we're just multiplying the ending balance times 0.04. Okay. Well, take a look at these two questions. Now we want to find out how much did he actually earn in interest from the initial deposit to the end of 5 years. So you have to go back to your table and look at that, and then also from the start of year 6 to the end of year 10. So go back to your table and take a look at those figures, and then how do they compare, and explain. And then also take a look at question 2. Says, what was the total amount saved from the initial deposit to the end of year 5, from the start of year 6 to the end of year 10, and include the amount that was put in and the interest. Okay, so I hope you are able to come up with these figures. So if you look at how much interest did he earn from the end of year one to the end of year five. So we're looking at year one to year five. So what I see from that time span, from year one to year five, well, I see 40. Oh, let me put it over here. 40 plus 80 plus 120 plus 160 plus 200. We add all this up, we should get $600. Get rid of this out of the way here. Okay, so now we want to find out, well, what did he earn from the start of year 6 to the end of year 10? And we're talking about the interest now. So I'm looking at 240. I'm looking at 280. I'm looking at 320. I'm looking at 360. I see 400. If I add these up, I'll get $1,600. Now, it says, how do you compare these? So what we talking about when we compare 600 to 1,600. Well, we know that 1,600 is greater than 600, and it asks, well, explain why would it be such a disparity? Why is the difference so great here? And the reason why is because as he saved money regularly, the interest increased, especially when he's inputting a greater amount of money. He started off early with a smaller, but as he continued through year 10, the money value increased, which caused the interest payments to increase. Okay? Now, number two, we're just going to use values that we have. So what was the total amount saved from the initial deposit to the end of year 5? Well, if you go back and look at year 5, he saved, what was it, $1,000 a year? So then you're talking about 5 times 1,000, and they said use the interest 2 plus 600. So that would give him a total of 5,600. So this is where they got this from, right here. Then it says, well, what about from year 6 to start of year 6 to year 10? So that's another 5 years. So again, he's 5 times 1,000 is going to give us 5,000, but he earned 1,600 in interest. Add them up, and we'll get 6,600. So hopefully you can see from this short presentation that interest is important, very important, especially if you're creating or managing some type of savings. But it should tell us that the more money we put into a savings, the more deposits we make, the greater our interest payments should be. All right, guys, I really appreciate it. Again, if you hadn't subscribed, please do so. If you have any comments, I'd like to hear them. I'll talk to you soon.